On this episode, we're going to talk with the contributor to a new book that's out called She's Conservative. And we're going to introduce a new segment to the show. Don't know how often we're going to do it, but we're going to test it out, I guess. All this on this episode of Trend Chat.
From the highways of America, here's the podcast where we talk politics, a little entertainment, some culture, and this and that from the road to your ears. This is Trend Chat with your host, Brian Bledsoe.
And welcome to another episode of Trend Chat. I am your host, Brian Bledsoe. And if you want to connect with us, we're on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, or Snapchat. It's all the same name, Trend Chat 24/7. So we didn't get a chance to say a lot, other than the interview that we had on last episode. But we're definitely gonna get to a lot that we kind of overlooked. Well, not so much overlooked. We just didn't have time because we wanted to make sure we got everything from our interview with Ellie Buffkin on. So we're going to be able to, especially to mention more about our partnership with two brands. And we're definitely going to talk about that later on. Also, like I said, we're going to debut this new segment, which I don't know how this is going to go. Even though the whole reason why I'm even doing this, because I have this happen a lot. So I said maybe I'll just make a segment out of it and something like that. Because I don't really have segments. I mean, I guess you could say I have the interview segment, but I don't have like music and all that, which I'm thinking about doing that for this. I'm thinking about putting something elaborate behind it, only because of, anyway, well, I'll get into it when I start that segment. But before we get into anything, I want to make sure I mention right now, because I want to start talking about this, and not only because it's just one of those things that I didn't imagine happening, but it is happening and it has happened. So it's it's really cool just to say that I am partnering with with a company, and a lot of times you hear podcasts like this one, but you haven't heard me do like an ad for a company saying like, hey, go here, you can get X% off or whatever like that. And I have no problem with them in the other podcasts, but it's just funny because now I have two of those now, which is just awesome. So like I mentioned in the last podcast, so we're partnering with ODG Apparel. ODG Apparel. So it's odgapparel.com. And they make great Christian shirts, hats. I actually, I posted this all over on all the social media accounts for Trend Chat about a week ago now. We've been just kind of waiting to make sure that everything was okay before we wanted to announce that. But yeah, so ODG Apparel makes really quality, stylish Christian wear. And I mean, let's be honest, sometimes, some of the Christian apparel out there can be pretty, I don't know. I guess you could say it's lame in a way. But one thing I like about them is that they're very stylish, and that's one reason why I was already wearing their hats and shirts anyway. But now, this is not how I'm going to be doing this every time. I'm just mentioning this in length a little bit now because it's the first time. But if you go to odgapparel.com/trendchat, so odgapparel.com/trendchat, you can go there and check out the shirts and the hats, all the other accessories that they have. And if you enter the code TRENDCHAT10 at checkout, you can get 10% off. So, like I said, this is not going to, I think this was like, 3 or 4 minutes. I mean, well, for one, I'm going to kind of craft how I want to do this every time anyway. But like I said, I'm definitely going to want to talk a little bit more about it right now, for at least for the first time, maybe the first couple of times. But yeah, I mentioned again, odgapparel.com. And I've been wearing their hats and getting their shirts and everything. So that's really cool. And another brand that we are partnering with is 1776united.com. So 1776 United, they make great patriotic gear, pro Second Amendment and pro freedom, pro liberty, shirts and not see. They also make these mugs, which I just bought one recently, actually, with the quote from Thomas Jefferson saying, "I prefer a dangerous freedom to a peaceful slavery." I'm pretty sure I butchered that, but I bought the shirt with that quote and also the mug that they sell, which is, it's not like your standard mugs either. I mean, it's a very well made, well detailed, different looking mug. A matter of fact, they call it something else actually, but yeah, go to 1776united.com and check out, the hats. They have different type of hats. Like I said, I posted it all over social media. So I have these snapback hats, and the one I have a couple of their hats. I have the one with the join or die hat, join or die flag under the bill with the, colonial flag, all black. And I also have another one with the "Don't Tread on Me" with the Gaston flag under the bill as well. Maybe you've seen some of those in some of the posting on Snapchat or Instagram or Facebook. But yeah, so yeah, they in the same, like I was saying about ODG, they make very high quality shirts and all sorts of other accessories as well. Like I said, check out 1776united.com, and there you can check out, everything, their inventory and everything they have. And if you enter the code 76militia, MILITIA -TrendChat, you get 20% off. So, like I said, all these are, I'm pretty sure as time goes by, I'll be able to make this seem a lot more seamless. But I'm really just excited the fact that I'm actually am telling you this, because like I said, this is one of those things where I didn't even imagine that, where a company was like, hey, we'll give you a promo code, you can promote our product. I'm like, okay. And with these are products that I'm already wearing anyway. So it's not like where I'm doing an advertisement for a product that I don't even have or don't even know anything about. So and for me, these are perfect for this podcast, for me in particular, because you have one with ODG Apparel, which is Christian, on Christian wear, Christian gear. And then with 1776 United, they're like conservative and more patriotic, gear. And that's perfect for this podcast with both of those, because it goes right along with being a Christian and a conservative. So like I said, I don't know. I might make something add, like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, because this is all new. As I mentioned already, this, I never done this before. And so now I'm definitely going to have to cut this down, because I'm pretty sure this is a lot longer ad. If you want to call an ad, really, I wouldn't call this particular an ad, because I'm just announcing this partnership that we have, which, again, it blows my mind. And anyway, odgapparel.com/trendchat, trendchat10 to get 10% off there. 1776united.com, 76militia-trendchat to get 20% off. I'm already remembering this off the top of my head now. I mean, I'm getting, I can do that right now off the top of my head. I'm getting better at it already. So yeah, check them out and let me know what you think. If you get one of these hats or shirts or whatnot, let me know. I've really enjoyed them. They, like I said, they're very high quality products. So, all right. So speaking of something where I never thought I would be doing like this, we'll get to another thing that I never thought about, which hasn't happened, but the thought just came across recently, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. But first, let's hear a word from my friends with the Founder Project.
Hello, Trend Chat listeners. If you like the Founding Project's Civics Education video series, Civics for All Ages, and our educational meme series, we think you will love our new website. Join us at thefoundingproject.com and be a part of the civics movement. The Founding Project is a 501c3 education nonprofit. Please join us today.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. There's another thing that I posted that I'm going to explore as much of this library that I have at my disposal. And so, yeah, I'm going to be playing a lot of different types of music. And matter of fact, I'm probably going to let that play a little bit in the background. Matter of fact, hold on. I like this little part. Hold on. I'm going to bring it back up. Okay. All right. Y'all not here for all the music. So just bring it down just a tad. Matter of fact, let me bring it down some more. As you can tell, I'm like kind of really liking this. So I'm gonna let that play in the background just a little bit, only because it kind of goes into what I'm about to talk about. Because like I was mentioning about the whole having the partnerships that with our that we're talking about with ODG Apparel, and also with with the 1776 United. One thing I haven't thought anything about was any sort of awards, right? I mean, it just goes all the way back to even doing the podcast in the first place. It's something I never thought I would be doing doing at all would be at this episode 125. So I never thought it would be at episode 1, let alone 125. So speaking of that, one thing I haven't really mentioned that much is that Trend Chat is on Google Play, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and many other major podcast outlets. I can't name them all because I don't know them all. I think I mentioned this before. There are places where Trend Chat is available, and I don't know that I don't know where they are. I know it's on Beyond Pod. I didn't even know that. I don't even know. Like I said, I don't. I'm guessing it's on a lot of major podcast outlets, like I mentioned. That being said, one of those that I definitely know that I'm on is iHeartRadio. And iHeartRadio has, I don't know how long they've been doing this, but on January 18th, they have the iHeartRadio Podcast Awards. And, we're not nominated. I mean, we were close. We were really close. We just got beat out by Ben Shapiro in I think it was the news category. I don't know. Yeah, we was almost there. We were like maybe a couple hundred, maybe 1 million votes away from beating Ben Shapiro. To be nominated. But we were close though. Like maybe a couple 100,000, we might would have got in there. But but by seeing that, it made me think. I'm like, now look, now if let's just dream right quick and just say, okay, let's say next year around, I think the nominations around November. So let's say November this year. It's kind of even hard to even say this because it sounds so far-fetched. But let's say if I were able to get nominated, right, to be in the iHeart Podcast Awards and be in the same category with Ben Shapiro and other like political podcasts and whatnot. So I would definitely have that feeling where I know you hear a lot of times when we come to like award season and people say, well, I'm just happy to be nominated. If that would have happened to me, I was like, yeah, I wouldn't even know what to do with myself. I really would not know how to take that. Cause here I am, I'm giddy over the fact that I have these brands that I'm sponsoring that I have, that I partner with. Like, I'm giddy over that. So just imagine if I like won an award or even was nominated for something. But yeah, that being said, when it comes around to the time again, I would like to get at least one vote. I think, that's the goal we should make as a show. It's really big to look to being nominated. Let's start with baby steps. Let's get a vote. And when I say a vote, not me voting for myself. Cause I could do that. I can go on. I think you can vote like 5 times a day. So I could do that for me. But I want to get a vote from someone outside of my family. Cause I'm pretty sure like my mom would vote too. So, but outside of my family, outside of me and my family, I would like to get one vote. We could start there. And then build from maybe, 10 votes, and maybe 100 votes. Just be built from year to year. So probably about a year, I don't know, year 2025, maybe we might get 1,000 votes. But yeah, so it just, yeah. Have just seeing that the awards are going to be on the 18th, and it just made me think. I guess just kind of fantasize a little bit. So, well, all right, it's time. It's time to go ahead and debut this new segment, and after that, we'll get to our interview with Caroline Hakes, who is a contributor to a new book from the network of enlightened women called "She's Conservative." But like I said, we're gonna, you know what? Matter of fact, scratch that. We're gonna flip this around. we're going to go to our interview right now and then debut the new segment. How about that? So, after a word from Politichicks, we'll play our interview with Caroline. Hello, this is Brian Bledsoe, host of Trend Chat, also contributor at Politichicks.com. Here to tell you about the new book called Politichicks, A Clarion Call to Political Activism, with over 300 pages from contributors like myself, talking about topics such as education, social issues, healthcare, the Second Amendment, and of course, activism. I encourage you all to check it out at Politichicks.com, and is also available at Amazon and Barnes & Noble.
This is Dana Lash, and you're listening to Trend Chat.
Hello, this is Trend Chat. And we are very pleased to have Caroline Hakes with us. She's currently attending George Washington University and a member of the network of Enlightened Women. We bring her on today to talk about her contribution to a new book from New called She's Conservative. Caroline, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Brian. How are you?
Doing quite well. So first, if people who are not familiar, tell everyone about the network of Enlightened Women.
So the Network of Enlightened Women is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to educating women on conservative principles, creating a community of conservative college women, and emboldening those women to speak out about their values and beliefs on campus.
How big is the organization?
So our organization is about 30 women, I believe. It varies from meeting to meeting because of everyone's busy schedules, but that's about our membership.
Okay. And do you have like particular chapters in different universities and colleges?
Yes. So there are dozens of chapters across the country, and the book in particular tells the stories of 22 women, some members of the chapter, some alumni of the chapter from 17 different universities.
Okay. I guess let's get into the book. So the book is called She's Conservative. And like you mentioned, there are different essays from across the country from different colleges and universities. So I guess what was the inspiration of even doing a book like this?
The inspiration behind the book was to share the stories of these women, to elevate our voices, and really let people know that there is a strong presence among college women of conservatives, of people who don't buy into this overarching liberal narrative.
And your essay in particular, I guess I came across your essay and I guess the title of it in talking about owning the libs. Before we get into it, just let everyone know a little bit about your essay in the book.
So my essay is about my experience on campus and my effort to really befriend people I disagree with and talk with them and really let them know what I, as a conservative, believe. There's this overarching trend among young conservatives, especially in college, that humiliating liberals and making them look stupid and uneducated and eliciting negative reactions. That's premise of the Own the Libs kind of movement. It's very much part of meme culture. It really, in my opinion, isn't very productive. I don't think that we gain respect for our beliefs or an equal portion of the dialogue by trying to make other people feel stupid or wrong.
Yeah, I know I know of the term owning the libs and kind of how you describe it as far as just having, I guess, quick-witted retorts or basically just outright insults. In a lot of cases, to just like you said, to either make the person on the other side just either just look dumb or whatnot. So I don't know if you have any more of a definition of than what I just said.
I think you're pretty on base there.
So I noticed in your essay that you had a quote from Nikki Haley. Now I remember hearing a speech from Nikki Haley that talked specifically about this. Now, did you write your essay before or after she had that speech?
I wrote my essay after that speech.
Okay.
This quote in my essay about leadership is about bringing people around to your point of view instead of shouting them down. That was actually from the Turning Point USA Summit, where someone asked her about owning the libs, and she said that she didn't believe that that was the right way to further the conservative cause. And that's really what inspired me to specifically touch on this in my essay. I knew I had been asked to write an essay, and I really had that aha moment when I heard Ambassador Haley say that.
Okay, 'cause I remember. I mean, I saw the quote and I remember that particular speech that you mentioned, but I didn't know maybe she said that in other speeches as well or something like that. So I was wondering, did that have direct inspiration for you to write this essay?
It did. It really was the catalyst for my central narrative.
Now, from your essay and talking about it as far as your roommates and just and how you have dialogue with others, being on a college campus, I guess I want to ask the environment that you have to deal with. I mean, we hear the stories. It sounds pretty pretty miserable. Now, are those are those claims overblown or just or what?
I think it's important to point out that it really varies from campus to campus. I'm fortunate that GW, while it is overwhelmingly liberal in terms of student body and faculty, the GW administration recognizes this advantage of being in Washington, D.C. at the center of our government and our political process, and they don't believe in restricting conservative viewpoints. They specifically say they don't believe in the idea of safe spaces from free speech. So there is top-down, necessarily support for our beliefs, obviously, but the recognition that we bring something to the dialogue as conservatives and that our voices deserve their diligence just as liberal voices do. I wouldn't necessarily say the same for maybe some members of the student body. I'm sure some would love to see what's happening at other universities. UC Berkeley comes to mind, where chapters of conservative organizations have had, meetings protested, have had threats to take away their funding, or have had speakers invited to campus get protests or even canceled outright due to security reasons. I'm fortunate to not have that experience at GW, but I know that conservative students and organizations at other campuses, that is very much a reality for them.
So I guess you could say just it's not as hostile there as in other places.
Definitely not. I feel very lucky for that. But I've heard stories and, seen them in the news from other places.
Yeah, I mean, some of those stories in the book, as far as maybe more, like I said, more hostile environment?
Other women in the book discuss feeling intimidated either by professors or by fellow students. One young woman discusses that her choosing to stand up for her conservative beliefs through her coursework actually affected her grades in a few classes and relationships with faculty, which I think is just incredibly unfortunate.
Hearing that you're from, that you're attending George Washington University, I guess one question I just thought of right now is that we've seen a number of situations where anything that has to do with the founding fathers tends to be a target on the campuses as far as being either just totally removed or renamed. And one thing I guess I'm thinking about as far as this university, is there any sort of news or any sort of movement to, I guess, maybe changing the university from George Washington just because he's, founding father?
I think that's not a mainstream movement, but I think definitely there have been some people who have advocated for considering a name change. One sort of activist student movement that's gained some ground on campus, although it's been more quiet recently, was in favor of changing our university mascot. So we are the George Washington University Colonials. And so our mascot is George Washington, like someone dresses up in a George Washington character suit. But they want to change that because they believe that we're furthering the legacies and the oppression of colonialism by having that as part of our student culture.
Okay. When you said colonials, I was like, okay, I already know what the target is on this. Colonialism, that's what it's going to be. So, okay. So, also in looking into your essay, your conversation with your roommate, that story that you had about that, are y'all two still roommates? And let everyone know about that a little bit.
We don't live together anymore, but we're definitely very much still good friends. And it's pretty funny because she, she's still registered Democrat, still relatively liberal, but she doesn't buy into this far left progressive narrative that is really seeming to be overtaking the left. This idea that the government is meant to just be our complete provider that is expected to fill in, the gaps in society, specifically the prevalence of socialism that seems to be coming up in the Democratic Party.
Well, your essay is definitely a good example of having a civil discussion as opposed to trying to get one up on someone to seem right or to seem clever, And I really appreciate your essay. And where can people reach out to you on social media?
So my Twitter is where you can connect with me. I actually recently made a new one. It's at Caroline Hakes. And I share my opinions on issues at times, sometimes weigh in on the day's news. It's a lot of just like funny tweets about sports and stuff too.
Okay. And also, if people want to know more about New Network of Enlightened Women, and also where could they get the book?
Yes. So I would encourage anyone who wants to learn more about New to visit our website, enlightenedwomen.org. That is also one place you can purchase the She's Conservative book. And the book is also available on Amazon.
Okay. All right. Well, Caroline, thanks so much for your time.
Of course, Brian.
Politics and other stuff, maybe. This is Trend Chat with your host, Brian Bledsoe. This is Trend Chat.
Oh, yeah. All right. Thanks, Caroline, for joining us. And yes, get the book. She's Conservative. Like I said, in the interview, really enjoyed her essay and everyone in the book as well. So yeah, go check that out. And also, check out the Network for Enlightened Women as well. So, all right. So, matter of fact, let me bring this back up a little bit. Okay. Oh, well, actually, I ought to just leave it on right quick, just a little bit. Let it play in the background a little bit. Only because, no, matter of fact, no, cut it off. I just thought about it. Yeah. So, okay. All right. Let's go ahead and debut this whole new segment. So, a lot of times I come across all different stories. I mean, this is Trend Chat. We try to look at what's trending, what's going on, whatever. And a lot of times I'm looking at what's going viral a lot of times. And I'm just like, what? So what? Like, and like, why are we spending any time on this? So because of that, I have decided to start a segment, and the name of this might change from time to time. It might, but I think this is going to stay like this. If anything, I might add more words to it just because. But the name of the segment is the significant, worthless, trivial, meaningless, irrelevant, time-wasting folder. So basically, I spend as much time on this title as I am going to talk about these stories. So like I said, I might add more words to it just so I can make this a long title, because what I'm going to talk about in this particular segment is going to be really quick because I don't care. I don't care about none of this that's going on. So I'm just going to go down the list, and all of these go in the insignificant, worthless, trivial, meaningless, irrelevant, time-wasting folder. So in the folder goes Elizabeth Warren drinking a beer. Don't care. Michelle Obama wearing some crazy looking boots. I don't care. Mitt Romney bashed President Trump. It was expected. So what? Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez dancing. And so what? President Trump serves Mickey D's, Wendy's, Burger King to the Clemson Tigers at the White House. So Democrats proposed articles of impeachment. Like you didn't see that coming? It's been in the making like 2 years in the making. Carter B called Trump supporters racist rednecks. I mean, look, this should be irrelevant, but unfortunately, our society gives celebrities far more validity for their opinions than they should be. So now that's the end of that segment, because I was going to add this into the segment, but I had to stop. So this whole Gillette ad, I'm pretty sure if you're listening right now and this is the story at the present time, this is the viral story right now, is this whole Gillette ad. And I was tempted to put this in the folder as well, but I couldn't, because I felt like I kind of had to couple this with other things that are going on. And I think it's a little, the thing about it, the reason why I can't say so what to it, because but I'm not on also not on the other end of it where I'm just so hysterical about it and just, maybe out there trying to burn Gillette razors or whatever. I don't know. I mean, for one, hey, I don't know if this will be controversial or not, but the Gillette ad actually has some good points. Now, the thing about it, my issue with it is that it focuses on the negative minority on masculinity. But the things that they brought up, like I said, there was some actual good points in it that they brought up. And the funny thing about it, that they brought up showing their own commercials where they kind of felt like they contributed to some of these things. But yeah, I definitely disagree with how they try to portray like men are, the majority of men are these sexist, misogynistic, creatures. Basically, it make it look like men just have done nothing for the world and just been, to the world's detriment. Now, there's another commercial from a watch company called Egard, I don't know what it's called, which they have basically it's like a 180 view. It's a response to the Gillette ad, and they show a positive view. I always say it's a positive view because they talk about the stats about about men being, 97% of war fatalities and 75% of suicides. And I mean, so it's not like a really positive view, but it kind of puts a different perspective on where the whole Gillette ad was going with. And I felt like if you kind of combine the two, if you took parts of the Gillette ad and parts of this eGuard watch company ad, if you put those two together, took some parts from both, I think you would have a much better, well-rounded message. But I mean, that's not going to happen. But like I said, I like the eGuard one a whole lot better. But like I can see some of the points in the Gillette ad, so that's why I didn't go into the whole like, oh, who cares about it. But because on top of that, because also time I saw this, it made me think about what I saw a couple of days ago from the APA, the American Psychological Association, and they had a study on quote unquote traditional masculinity, which when you kind of look over it, it's kind of like the whole same, the same, I guess, term like toxic masculinity or whatnot. And they basically said that traditional masculinity is harmful to young boys. And when I saw that story, and then this Gillette ad came out a couple of days later, it's the one thing for me is that they're wanting to shine a light that they supposed to be, I guess, shining a light on what they deem is a lot, especially the people on the left would definitely just want to call it toxic masculinity, or whatnot, or like the APA want to call it traditional masculinity. And even though they might have made some valid points about how, men have been objectifying women or have been, just been in a sense of where just looking, I guess, belittling women and whatnot, and on and on. The sad part about it, their solutions, whether it's Gillette, APA, or whoever, their solutions are just as toxic as the masculinity that they're looking to erase. So when seeing that, that's how I'm feeling about it, because their solutions are not going to mean anything. If anything, it's just going to be, it's not going to be where it's a sense of where we should do better. It's also, it feels like that it's basically going to be an embrace to femininity. Like, just don't be masculine at all. Just shed all of it away. Because that's basically what they're pointing to. Because a lot of these people, the ones, I'm pretty sure the people who are behind these marketing campaigns and who are behind the study, I don't know. I'm pretty sure they're not going to make an emphasis on the fact that men and women are inherently different. I mean, I don't think they're going to go down that route. So if they're not going to at least go there, then what are they going to do? So, yeah, like I said, it just, it's all weird, and I don't know. Anyway, well, okay, that's the music. I think it kind of saved me, because I probably was about to rant on something on this, but we're out of time. So, I already know who's going to be on next week. Shocker, right? So next week, we're going to have Joanne Fleming, Executive Director for Grassroots America. She'll be on it'll probably be next Thursday. And we'll talk about basically Texas politics and the ongoing session in the Texas legislature. So until next week, we'll chat with you later.